UPC, EAN, GS1, FNSKU. Very confusing, I'm sure. If you want to know exactly how to use barcodes when you are selling on Amazon in the Middle East, this is the video for you. Keep on watching. This is probably the most confusing subject for people starting out on Amazon anywhere all over the world, and especially in the Middle East. And that's why I decided to do this video today. All the information about barcodes, where to use them, where to purchase them in this video. And let's get going. But if this is your first time watching a video on this channel, hi, my name is Crystal. I'm an Amazon seller and I'm the founder of Amazon Sellers Society Middle East. Now, in each and every video, we have a competition where you can win a one-on-one Zoom strategy call with me. All you need to do is leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and also leave a comment, any comment on this video, and we choose somebody randomly in each and every video. For this video, the winner, the person that left a comment on our previous video, the winner is... Thank you so much for commenting. If you want to set up your call with me where we can talk about Amazon and everything related to Amazon, just send me a DM to our Instagram account, Amazon Sellers Society. Now, let's get started. Imagine you walk into a store and you find a product and you want to purchase that product. And you take that product over to the cash register and they scan the barcode. They tell you what the product costs and how much you should pay. You pay and you get a receipt. And on the receipt, you can clearly see what the description of the product is, some other stuff maybe, and also the price. And that's it. That's exactly what a barcode is, and it's the same exact concept on Amazon. The difference is when you are in a store, somebody, either in the main office or in the store's warehouse, actually had to enter all the information that relates to the product being sold in the store. That's why when they scan it on the cash register, they know exactly what the product is, and they know how much it costs, and they can give you an invoice. However, all those details you need to enter yourself when you create a listing on Amazon. And that's the purpose of a barcode, as simple as that. Now, with that being said, should you purchase a GS1 barcode or a UPC barcode, and what is the difference? Amazon back in 2016, early 2017, came out with a policy saying that they require GS1 barcodes. What is GS1? GS1 is an organization that makes sure that each and every product actually has a unique barcode. Because imagine if different products have the same barcode and you go and you want to scan them on the cash register, then it's not going to work. So GS1 is the organization or governing body that makes sure no two barcodes in the world are alike. Now, with that being said, when you do want to purchase a barcode, either a GS1 barcode or a UPC code, what should you do and what exactly are the differences? Before I get into it, and before I tell you what is an FNSKU also, let's look at Amazon's policy for UPC barcodes. So essentially, what Amazon is saying in their guidelines is that each and every UPC code that you will enter into your product ID when you are listing a private label product and you are listing it in the Amazon catalog, they will actually make sure or identify or check, whatever you want to call it, that UPC against the GS1 database, just to make sure that nobody else is actually using it. They don't say anywhere that you are not allowed to get a UPC code from a third-party seller, and they don't say that you only have to buy a barcode from the GS1 website. They're just saying that basically if you try to use a fake code, they're gonna know, because they're gonna check on the GS1 database to make sure that the barcode is not being used by somebody else, and it's not being used it's not for another company, just so there are no two barcodes alike. With that being said, where do you go to buy a GS1 barcode? You go to the GS1 website. And yes, there is a website specific to each and every country where Amazon happens to sell. So there is a GS1 governing body in the UAE. You can apply to purchase GS1 barcodes directly from the source. It's an application. You need to have a trade license. 10 barcodes are gonna set you back around 750 dirhams, and they will be registered to your company. So they will be 100% yours and in your own name. You also have to pay a renewal fee every single year. If you want to purchase them from a third-party reseller, a GS1 reseller, you can go ahead and use Nationwide Barcode. There are a lot of other websites, but I use Nationwide Barcode. I know a lot of other sellers do, and there's never been an issue. You purchase them. So basically what Nationwide and other companies do, they purchase bulk quantities of barcodes, and they're able to sell you one barcode for around $12, $10. They always have a 40% promo on the website, so you don't have to pay a big amount of money, and you don't even have to have a trade license. So you can do that, and then you will get a UPC code, a Universal Product Code. With that UPC code, you enter it into your product ID. In Europe, we use EAN, but in the UAE and KSA, we use UPC codes. You enter it into your product ID, and then you enter all the information, so it corresponds, so the information that you enter corresponds to that particular barcode. What do you do with that barcode? Now, before I move on and tell you exactly what you do with that barcode, whether you should put it on your product or not, when you enter it into the Amazon listing, what will happen is Amazon will automatically generate an internal barcode that is used by Amazon, and that internal barcode is called FNSKU, FNSKU, or FNSKU for short. So that is the barcode that is only used on the Amazon platform. It's alphanumeric, basically it's letters and numbers, and you can also use that particular barcode if you want to. So what normally happens is you get your UPC code, you already paid for it, you start your listing, and you send that UPC code, and you ask your manufacturer to stick that UPC code onto your product, so that when they arrive to the Amazon FBA warehouse, they can scan them and they recognize what that product is, because you listed it and you entered all the information about your product. You can alternatively also use an FNSKU, and it's going to do the same exact thing. However, an FNSKU is only used on Amazon. So later on, if you only use FNSKU, if you want to sell them on another platform, on another website, on your own website, anywhere else, that barcode doesn't work. That's why I normally prefer to use UPC codes, because they give me a little bit more flexibility, and they're the same thing. However, make sure that you don't have two barcodes. So it's either a UPC or an FNSKU on the product, and not both. So they need to be only one readable barcode, so Amazon don't get confused. Also, when the product is in the Amazon warehouse, when somebody purchases your product, the Amazon warehouse employee will go to the section where your product is, and they will scan it just to know that, yes, this is the product that the purchase was made for. So this is the product that the customer bought. They will pack it and they will ship it. Barcodes are very, very important, because that's how they identify your product. They're not going to open the box and figure out if that's the same exact product. Can you list a product without a barcode, without a UPC code, without a GS1 barcode? Yes, you can. However, I don't recommend it. It's called a G10 exemption. It's not something that you should do all the time if you want to build a business, because you should buy a barcode. It's not such a big investment. However, if you want to do a test listing, and you bought a barcode and you don't want to use that barcode, you want to do a test listing, or you want to list your product to see if Amazon are going to require some additional documents once you list it, because that can happen also, you can apply for a G10 exemption. Let's look what, G10 exemption basically means you don't need a UPC code in order to list that product. They exempt you. But let's look at the details. So you're going to find that there are some products and categories that can be G10 exempt, and some of them can. For example, if it's a private label product or a handmade product, then it can be G10 exempt. What you need is basically you need the product name and a minimum of 2 images that show the product and the packaging of the product, if there is a packaging. And you need a support letter from the brand owner, manufacturer, or publisher that is clear and readable in English or the marketplace's local language, which is Arabic, containing the following information. And you can look at that. I'm going to leave this page linked in the description box down below. And you just apply for a G10 exemption. You're going to actually find that some of the products that you're going to try to, apply for, you're already exempt. So you can test it out if you want. So for example, let's look at the kitchen category. And I'm just going to say it's generic because it's a private label and there is no brand. There's no brand. So I'm going to say generic. Check for eligibility. And I'm already eligible. So I can start listing after 30 minutes and I can add the product just so it can go through. Now, in your add a product page, you can look here and you can see your requests and you can check the status here. And then when the status is correct, then you can go ahead and list the product, and where the product ID, where you see the product ID, then it will be turned off and there is no need for a product ID. So you can try to do that. However, again, I don't recommend you do it because there should be a UPC code for your own unique product, because that just keeps you safe. Yeah. Now, last question. Can you use a manufacturer's UPC code or barcode? So you purchased a product from a manufacturer somewhere overseas, maybe in China, maybe in Vietnam, maybe in Pakistan. They already have a barcode on their product. Can you use that barcode? Technically, you can. However, obviously, these manufacturers sell their products to people all over the world. And the Amazon catalog is linked together all over the world. So if somebody, just one person, actually listed the product and used that barcode, then you're going to have a very big problem. You're going to have to repurchase. You're going to have to repurchase a UPC, and you're going to have to stick it on the product yourself. Because normally, what happens is when you buy a UPC code, you just send it to your manufacturer and you tell them to stick it on your on the product, and you don't have to bother with doing it yourself. So, do I recommend that you use a manufacturer's barcode? No, of course not. It's not a very expensive thing to buy a barcode. Go ahead, log on to Nationwide, buy a barcode. It's going to be yours and nobody else's, and it's going to be unique for your product. It's just a small amount of money that is going to, keep you safe. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the information and you found it valuable, make sure that you leave me a thumbs up to this video because it supports the channel. I'll see you in another video with more information. Bye.